Based on the Thermo Scientific Spectronic 20, the most popular instructional spectrophotometer of the last 50 years, the Thermo Scientific Spectronic 200 will become the new standard of the 21st century teaching laboratory. Constructed of tough ABS plastic with sloping surfaces to shed spills, a unique removable and rinsable sample compartment, and shielded and sealed controls. The Spec 200 includes racks and compartments for test tubes and cuvettes that make prepping and testing easier to do and manage. And the larger, more accommodating sample compartment accepts cuvettes and test tubes of varying sizes. No adapter necessary. Even tall test tubes aren't a problem because the Spec 200 is room light resistant. It can measure accurately with the lid open. The controls blend the modern and the familiar. The two-stage wavelength knob makes it particularly easy to set up the wavelength in an experiment. Modern live display mode shows wavelength and absorption. And the spectrum display helps students make the connection between numeric wavelength and the color of the light absorbed. You can also adjust wavelength with the keypad controls. 0% T measurement is done automatically at startup. And the Auto Zero function records 100% T at all wavelengths. Set up a quantitative method with a user-entered factor or up to 4 standards to make a Beer's Law plot. And you can even store your methods to a memory stick via the USB port for later use. The Spec 200 scan mode gives you the ability to scan the full spectrum in seconds. To find lambda max, just zero it. Measure your sample. And use the cursor to identify the peak. Or, if the Spec 200 shares a lab with older spectrophotometers, it can emulate them so that your students can use the same protocols, no matter which instrument they're working with. The Thermo Scientific Spectronic 200. With the experience gained from over 500,000 Spec 20 customers, the Spec 200 will become the new standard of the 21st century teaching lab.